Hello, friends. Please tell me you can hear me. Please tell me you can hear me. Let's make sure you can hear me before I start jibber jabbering. Make sure it's on the right microphone. It says it's on the right microphone. Please let me know. Okay, good. Yay! Remember, get a brochure. Go get a brochure, Margaret. Hi, guys. Hey, Billy. Hey, Margaret. How are you guys? Hey, Morgana Banana. I'm here, but I'm in the middle of a pickle pong tournament. I'm listening, though. You guys, Morgana is cracking me up with her playing pickleball with. Did you ever get your paddles in the mail? Thank you, Billy. Margaret can't. Hey, Miss King. Hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. You guys, we're going to take a look at some stuff today. I'm excited. Do you know what tomorrow is? Do you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is the day that the Amazon Prime Idaho 4 series comes out. Okay? That's what tomorrow is. And I'm really excited about it. So, they are amazing. So no more boxes, huh? She was using cardboard boxes as her pickleball paddles with a ping pong ball in the house. She acts like a 5-year-old child. I love it. Although they did hit Granny, whatever you all call her, in the head, I think. Did you hit her in the head with the ping pong ball? Or was it somewhere else on her body? I might have misunderstood. I just know that ping pong balls was flying. Y'all are crazy. Side note, the top coat that I purchased, yeah, I'm not jiving with it. Look, my nails are all chipping. Chipping, Chipperson. Yeah, I don't like it. All right. Mom, the sideline judge, got beaned. Beaned. Wow. I need to see where husband's at because kiddo is watching for him. And I think he left work, but I think he went. Where is he? Oh, he's at Walmart, y'all. How did I know? How did I know he was going to be at Walmart? That man lives at Walmart. If he's not at work and he's not at home, he's at Walmart. So, he'll probably be texting me any second saying, "Do we need anything?" God love him. So, yeah, sorry I was behind a few minutes. I have been dealing with, so kiddo has to go. I don't know if I told you guys a lot of this or not, but you know how we found out that she had celiacs. So she went to see an endocrinologist, and that's how we found out because the endocrinologist called for certain blood work, and she's the one that called to tell us that Jolie has celiacs. So she also wanted her to go have a, what did they call it? I gotta write it. Look again. Bone age study. Okay, she's supposed to go have a bone age study, and what that is they take an X-ray of her hand. Are any of y'all familiar with this? And then they look at it after so long. They take another scan, and then they compare the two to see the amount of growth between the two to make sure that she's like growing at a good rate or whatever. So, anyway, yeah. We went, when we were at the endocrinologist the last time, we went down to the lab to have that done and her blood work. Well, we got the blood work done, but when it was time to do the scan, the amount of money that they wanted for that scan made me gasp. And that was after insurance, right? And I was like, we can't do that today. I'm sorry, but we can't do that today. So we left, and um, the doctor called, and was like, are we going to get this done? Because we have another appointment in September. And I'm like, listen, they want like 52 arms and legs to have this done, okay? And she's like, well, and she gave me some numbers to call, and I need to call the insurance company and see what they will pay at different locations, different lab services, different hospitals, in case, we can pinch a few pennies for that. But anyway, yeah, that's been an ongoing thing. So I was on the phone with them today. And now we are here today in the Crime Cafe, and we are going to watch. Not sure if any of you have seen this. And I know some of you have a, position on a certain creator, but we are going to watch today something on Bryan Kohberger and the Idaho 4. Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. Okay. Hold on a second. Here we go. All right. I shared it. Hold on a minute. Why isn't it showing up? Daggone StreamYard, are you being goofy? Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. So, full credit to this. I've got some timestamps lined out. Jeez. My phone. Okay, now it's telling me that my husband has arrived at Walmart. I knew that's where he was going. Thank you, Life 360. Yep. Okay. So, I've got some timestamps lined out because this video from, hey, Gail. Hey. So, this video from Annie Elise is what we're going to watch. But her video is like an hour and a half, and I've linked her video in the description box so you can watch the entire thing. We're just going to watch some snippets here and there. Maybe 25 minutes worth of it. So I've credited her in the description box, but I'm also going to put the credit on the screen as we're watching. Just because, that's what good people do, right? They give credit where credit is due. Video credit to Annie Elise. Let me grab the link real quick again. Copy. Paste. All right, there we go. Video credit to Annie Elise. Okay, so here's the lowdown if you haven't watched this video, okay? This video came out yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. But she, you guys know that the Amazon Docuseries starts tomorrow for the, I think it's called One Night in Idaho. And it premieres tomorrow on Amazon Prime. And she said she had received a phone call from Amazon Prime, telling her that they knew she had been covering this case pretty extensively, and they wanted to send her some screeners or a screener or whatever you want to call it, and of the docuseries. So she did, and she watched them, and then she shared her some, not really clips, but we get a lot of audio clips. Okay, so I encourage you to go, when you're done watching here, to go watch the entire video, because I can't share everything of hers, but we will watch some of it. And also, I need to find out real quick. Hold on a second. Does anybody know what time that's supposed to start tomorrow? Let me Google it. What time does One Night in Idaho Amazon docuseries start? Premieres on July 11th. Series explores the 2022 University of Idaho. But what time is it available? I mean, would it be available like at midnight tonight? Or is there a certain time that it will become available? I don't know how that works. Does anybody know? On July 11th. Maybe somebody in the chat has said something. Hey, Rosebud. Hi, girl. Hope you're all doing great. Finished up meetings. Thought I'd stop by. Well, thanks for stopping by. We're going to watch this, some of this about the Idaho 4 docuseries that's coming out on Amazon Prime. Does anyone know, when there are new things that come up on Amazon Prime, what time are they usually available? Like if I look tonight at midnight, will it be will it be there then, or you know what I mean? Just discovered Judge Boyd and her mini purses. Who's Judge Boyd? Should I know Judge Boyd? And her mini purses. I'm intrigued. Okay. Either way, we're going to figure it out what time that it's going to start. But what I do want to say is, for the members here on the Crime Cafe, who is she in Texas? What case? But for the members of the Crime Cafe, I'm going to do a members live tomorrow. She has a YouTube and has her court cases every day, and a different purse every day. It sits beside her. Oh, she has her own channel. I'm gonna have to go follow her. Like, does she show her purses off, or is it just something you like? Are the purses part of her everyday streams, or is it just something that she's got her purse sitting there and she's like, you know, doesn't realize that everybody can see it, or what? No, just sits beside her. Okay. Just sitting there. Okay. Well, I got to check her out. Judge Boyd. Let me write that down. Judge Boyd. All right. All right. It's just sitting there and she has a different one every time. Okay. I got to maybe I've seen her, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, live stream. Hey, Ween Baby. Ween Baby, do you know if. Okay, so the Amazon Prime docuseries is supposed to start tomorrow on the 11th. Do we know how Amazon Prime works? Will it be available at midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight? Or will it be like tomorrow night? Check the back chat. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Uh, I love lurkers. Let me just tell you, I love lurkers. Okay. Amazon Prime series typically release new episodes or seasons at midnight Greenwich Mean Time, which is equivalent to 12 a.m. in the UK, according to the paper. This translates to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For example, new episodes of The Boys were released at this time during the most recent blah, blah, blah. This is the equivalent time in Eastern Time Zone. So I'm confused. Does that mean Eastern Time, 8 p.m. on the 11th? Or 8 p.m. tonight? I'm so confused. Oh, God. Oh, there she is. That's who's lurking. Oh, not the husband. The husband's not lurking. That's who was lurking. Mm-hmm. Hi. I think 8 p.m. on the 11th, but it's confusing. That was a little confusing. They're not like it should have said 8 p.m. the night before or 8 p.m. the night. I think 8 p.m. Ween Baby's asking the husband. He knows. Okay. Well, either way, I'm going to have a members only. All right. Tomorrow. With a discussion about this. So, anyway, gonna have a discussion. So, for the members, plan on doing. Let me see. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. Trying to think of what a good time to have it would be. Gail said, "Ooh, we have homework." Love you, QB. I'm waiting on Ween Baby to come back too and see if her husband knows. I'm trying to think what time I should have the members only live tomorrow. Um, mm-mm-mm. Bum 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 bum. Burr, 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 burr. All right, so I'm going to do a members only live stream tomorrow. I will say I'm going to schedule it for around 2 p.m. Um, Let me write that down. 2 p.m. members only tomorrow. All right, 2 p.m. members only on Friday. On Friday. And then in the members only, no. No. Because what we're going to talk about in the members only tomorrow is plans for members only stuff maybe tomorrow night. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm thinking tomorrow at 2 for members, we're going to discuss how to have another members only later tomorrow night, if you get my drift. So, it says it premieres today, 7/10/25. Well, maybe it is 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock tonight then. Hold on. Let me go to my daggone. My phone was about dead. I had it plugged up. No, I'm at 58% now. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Daggone, QB. You was lurking in every direction, ma'am. I'm looking at my phone now, and she sent me a text. Mine says July 11th. Okay. All right, Prime. How do I even go? I don't watch Prime. Do I go to video? All right. Let me find One Night in Idaho. Where's the search button on here? God almighty. Categories. Well, what happens if I just type it in the search bar? Because it's a docuseries. Okay, here it is. Mine says series premiere July 11th. La 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 la. How are you getting the time? Like, where do you get the time at? Like the midnight thing and what? Is it because y'all are in California? Do you guys get like special treatment? Docuseries are one season and usually 4 episodes. Oh, okay. Well, I thought maybe it was because they were expecting the trial and maybe have another series after, but now that they're not having a trial, blah blah blah. But that would have been what I would have thought. Where do I click to Yeah, it says 4 episodes. Yeah, mine says July 11th too. Anyway, that's what I'm going to go with. I wish mine said July 10th like Miss King's. Then I dug further. They roll out at 12 a.m. So it is midnight tonight? Eastern time? I'm so confused. So would that be 12 a.m. your time, Margaret? Or would that mean 12 a.m. East Coast time? Or, see, I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to get started, okay? We'll hopefully figure something out by the end of today's stream and then continue with the plan of the members only stuff. However, if not, then we'll just have to play it by ear. Because I don't want to spit out a time um, and then it not be right, you know? But, um, okay, well, Hub said, okay, Ween Baby said, Hub said he's pretty sure it's 3 a.m. Eastern. Good God. That would make sense if Margaret says midnight. I think TV and all that always starts Eastern time, so it would start in the East. Then I wait 3 hours and it rolls out 12 a.m. my time. Can we all agree we are not going to be awake at that hour anyways? It's just going to be available. I probably will be. Right, Morgana? I'll probably still be awake. So maybe it's 9 West Coast. I'm going to see if it's active at 9 today because I'm curious. Yeah. Not me sitting looking at my TV at 3 in the morning. Right? I'm not always, but sometimes I am. Right, Morgana? We could watch it together. God. For viewers in the Eastern time zone of the U.S., releases can occur in the late evening around 7 p.m. on the day prior to the official release date, according to Reddit comments. Jeez Louise. Well, why can't there be a concrete answer to this? The Day We Debated Time by Margaret. You guys should see Margaret's comic book series she started. You should see it. I actually saved those photos to my phone. I would have to email them to myself so that I could share them if I have Margaret's permission to share the day the Margaret Got Mad series. Yeah, I know, right, QB? I want one too. Happy to have you share whenever. All right, thanks. I will go. Yeah, Jeff got a chipwich. I don't know that I know what a chipwich is. I mean, in the comic strip, he got ice cream, but then he says chipwich. I'm so confused. What is a chipwich? Which made me put chipwich on my Walmart order. What is chipwich? Probably an ice cream is it an ice cream sandwich with chocolate chip cookies? That's what, okay. Now it makes sense. I was thinking chips, like potato chips. And I was like, what is a chip witch? I don't know what that is. Okay, so Ween Baby says it's probably a region specific title too, which would release it at 3 a.m. Eastern. That would be tonight, 3 a.m. So Morgana. I mean, are we gonna pull an all nighter tonight, Morgana? Just saying. Make him some homemade ones. Yeah, just slap some, cookies down on a whatever and get some ice cream and just do it. All right, now we're going to get to this, okay? We're going to get to this. Y'all can't stay up that late and spoil it all till we get it. Well, I mean, hey, the early bird gets the worm, right? He also said that they do primetime releases too, so to be honest, it's hard to tell. God. I'm just going to sit with my Amazon Prime thing up on my TV or my computer and just refresh. Mm. Let's talk about what time we have to watch it in our respective time zones. We all must time it together. Prime is weird. All the other services are on time. Why do they do that? Sit there and wait for the play button to pop up. I know. And then I'm going to put an alert on everybody's phone that's going to wake you up at 3 in the morning and it going rock, rock, rock. That would be awesome, right? With my voice saying, get up and go get on your phone, heifers. It's time to wake up. Margaret. All right, now we're going to start this, okay? I've got timestamps and everything, so we're going to do this. We are already over 30 minutes in and have yet to watch this. So, again, video credit to Annie Elise. Where did that comment even go? I posted it forever and a day ago. And I did, is that it right there? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Video credit to Annie Elise. Miss King says July 10th. So that's got me thinking it's going to come on tonight. All right. I'm going to skip it straight to 6:27. Okay. This is where we're going to start listening to this. And this timestamp, I've got this going to run for 10 minutes ish. Okay. Because this is the biggest part of the video that I really wanted you guys to hear. So, I'm sorry, QB. Is it because I'm being too loud? Do I need to be whispering? Should I whisper? The storm. The storm. I just whispered, the storm. Patricia! Oh, no, because of all the times. Oh, okay, I got you. Margaret left. The storm. Hey, Patricia. In case you missed it, Patricia, we're going to have a members only live at some point. We haven't quite yet figured out when that's going to be because nobody can figure out when this Amazon Prime series is going to start. Okay? But I wanted to have a pre-show party on members only and then a members only party, if you get my drift. Because Prime is a whole crap. Yeah, because of that. All right, here we go.
Now let's start with the day of the discovery. It was November 13th, 2022, at approximately 11:45 a.m. A friend of the group named Hunter, whose girlfriend was Emily, who was also a very close friend of Xana and Maddie's, was sleeping over at Emily's apartment. The two of them were together in a relationship. They received a phone call from Dylan, and so with that phone call, they went over to the King Road house. Dylan had called them and said something to the effect of, something weird happened. I don't know if I was dreaming or not, but I'm really, really scared. Can you please come over and can you check out the house? She said, I'm in the basement right now with Bethany. I tried calling Xana a few times, but she hasn't responded. Can you guys please just come over here? I'm scared.
Got a call. I didn't really think much of it. Dylan had called us. She and Xana, they were roommates. And she was like, something weird happened last night. I don't really know if I was dreaming or not, but I'm really scared. Can you come check out the house? She was like, I'm in the basement with Bethany. She said, I called for Xana a few times and she hasn't responded, but will you just come over? I was like, oh, sure. Should I bring my pepper spray? Not thinking anything of it.
So Emily, Hunter, and another friend of theirs head over to the house. And when they arrive, they see Dylan and Bethany coming out of the house, and they are flustered, they're confused, and you could feel that something just wasn't right.
So I start.
So, yeah, Patricia says July 10th, too. That's strange. That leads me to believe that it's going to be available at midnight my time, which would be um 9 p.m. West Coast time. So, anyway, my head cannot take this. QB said I quit. Maybe we are special. Mom and I get an early premiere, right? I know, that's what I'm saying. Um so the girls, this is again kind of like where we watched the other day where Hunter and Emily, I believe is her name. She's the one that was just talking about the pepper spray, right? Um I love that we're getting snippets of the upcoming series, which we don't know what time is going to start. But anyway, I'm super excited for you guys to see and hear some of this if you haven't already watched it. Not the series, I mean this video from Annie Elise.
Walking to Xana's house, and when we got there, Dylan and Bethany had exited the house. They frightened, just kind of like just hands on their mouth, like I don't know what's going on type thing.
When the girls finally walk into the house, Hunter was already inside. He had been a few steps before them. They were a little bit behind. So he already was in the house walking around and kind of, I don't want to say investigating, but looking around. And when they walked in, they could feel that something was wrong immediately.
So when she talks about how Hunter's just in there, like walking around, sort of investigating, I wonder if, because at that point, one of the girls had told them, or Dylan specifically, probably would have said, Yo, I saw some dude in black with a mask walk past from Xana's room to the kitchen and out the back door, you know? And so he's probably thinking, okay, well, did somebody come in and rob the place? Looking to see if things are smashed, broken, whatever. Um, that would be what I would think. But if he went straight up the stairs and looked to the right, he would have seen Xana's body laying in the doorway. Because we've now come to the conclusion that the door was open. Um, Yeah, Rosebud, it's coming out tomorrow. Possibly tonight. I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. Um, but uh, yeah, it's coming up either late tonight or tomorrow. It's a docu-series. I think it's going to have, I think QB said 4 episodes on Amazon Prime. So, yeah, a docu-series. And Annie Elise got like a sneak peek of it. Um, and so we're just watching some of the audio. We don't get to like see any of the actual footage, but we get to hear the things that I'm going to share today from her video are all like audio. So, okay, let's get back to it.
Dylan and Bethany still weren't saying very much. They were just very confused. However, almost immediately upon entering, Hunter was like rushing them out, ushering them out of the house, saying, get out, you need to call 911. And when he told them that very specific instruction, you need to call 911, he didn't give a lot of detail. He told them, call 911 and let them know that there is an unconscious person.
So there you go. That makes sense. If he's walking, because when you walk in that front door, okay, when you walk in the front door of that house, 1122 King Road house, you walk in the front door, there's immediately the steps. There's the girls, there's bedrooms down there too, but there's a stairway. You go up the stairway and then turn, and as soon as you come up that stairway, you're in their living room. And you can see instantly to the right Xana's bedroom and the bathroom door. And that's where Xana was laying. He immediately said, call 911, tell them that there's an unconscious person, because he saw her laying in the floor, right? I still don't know if he saw a lot of blood at first. Did he think maybe she passed out, fell, hit her head? Who knows, right? But then he found Ethan in the, situation that Ethan was in. So, hold on, husband's home. Hold on just a second. I'm going to start this back, but I'm going to mute myself.
Now, the girls did not know the extent of what was going on, because in that moment, Hunter had made the, in my opinion, very incredibly brave and courageous decision to shield them from the truth of what he saw, what he witnessed. He said, tell them it's somebody unconscious, because he wanted to protect them. He didn't want them to spiral.
Hunter was ahead of me and Emily. I set foot in the house and immediately was pushed out, and Hunter was like, get out, somebody call 911.
Hunter had enough courage to tell them to call the police for not a real reason. He worded it very nicely. He said, tell them there's an unconscious person. Hunter saved all of us extreme trauma by not letting us know anything.
Now, I think now being armed with this information, it really does explain that chaotic 911 call. We all heard that 911 call when it was first released months ago, and it felt very chaotic. Everybody was passing the phone around, and nobody could say what really was happening. We heard somebody say that somebody was unconscious, but everybody was like, well, wouldn't you have seen blood? Wouldn't you know what was going on? Could they have been in shock? What was going on? And I think this really does set the foundation for that. Hunter had shielded them intentionally, so they didn't know what was going on. All they knew was that somebody was unconscious inside. And they know, though, of course, that whatever's going on, it's really bad. And so I think that really does explain the chaos of that call.
911 location of your emergency.
Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, this is
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, Bethany, we gotta go check. But we have to. Is he passed out? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you.
When you hear him say Xana, after on the 911 call, you hear her say she's not waking up, blah, blah, blah. I feel like when you hear him say Xana that second time, I feel like he's like trying to shake her to wake her up. Like, I don't know. Maybe he was standing at the edge saying, hollering her name. But, you know, at some point he starts saying, turn around, go, get out, get out, get out. So that makes me think that he went on in there and was probably like trying to shake her to get her to wake up. Saw the blood, saw Ethan in the bed, bloody. And that's when he starts screaming. Let me rewind that back real quick.
Find that out.
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, Bethany, we gotta go check. But we have to. Is he passed out? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong?
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 here, 20.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she...
Yeah, that wasn't him that was doing the hyperventilating. That was one of the girls that was on the phone. Dylan or Bethany, I'm not sure which one for sure. I think for a long time I thought it was Dylan that was on the phone that you could hear talking. But I'm not so sure that it wasn't Bethany. I could be wrong though. Either way, it was one of the girls. And it was one of the girls that was hyperventilating into the phone. Yeah. Awful. Awful. Awful.
breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
You talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have one. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
11:59.
So while they're waiting for the authorities and paramedics to arrive, they also are all standing together outside trying to make sense of what's happening. What's going on? What's happening inside? Where are our friends? All they know in this moment is that something very bad happened.
Dylan made a comment of, I can't believe somebody would do this. And I whispered to Emily, where's Xana? And she said,
Oh, this part is heartbreaking.
she's inside. And I think she's dead.
I think all I wanted was to go wake Santa up. And I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Now, meanwhile, as all of this is happening, around 12 o'clock, so about roughly 15 minutes later, Ethan's brother, Hunter, is being woken up by a fellow frat brother saying, hey,
This part is horrible too. Oh my goodness. This breaks my heart. Especially this part about Hunter. Because, see, there's Hunter, the boy that went in and found Xana and Ethan that we heard, tell him to get out, get out, get out. That was a friend of theirs, but like a really, really good friend of Ethan's, okay? But now Ethan is a triplet. If you didn't know this, Ethan is a triplet, and he has, of the triplets, there's him, and then a brother named Hunter also, and then he has a sister named Maisie. So, but Hunter, the brother of Ethan's, oh, it's heartbreaking to hear that part.
hey, police are over at King Roadhouse. They're at the King house. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. But Hunter wasn't really spooked by this. The King Roadhouse had a lot of parties. He knew that there were a lot of noise complaints all the time. So he's like, okay, like, who cares? Whatever, what else is new? But then he gets up and he starts going over to the house, and Hunter shares about what that moment was like when he found out. And I just want to mention before I play this clip, he does kind of laugh while he's speaking and recounting this, but it's almost this laugh of discomfort and disbelief, almost as though to this very day he still doesn't think that it's real. He doesn't, in those moments, he didn't think that it was real. He also calls his sister, Maisie, the other triplet of the three of them, and he tells her that she needs to come over to Xana's house, although he does not give her specifics as to why.
So I was walking over to the King Roadhouse. I saw a group of people sitting on the ground, and it's all the people I've been hanging out with. And they all just had this look in their face when I walked up, like the world had ended.
I remember seeing Hunter walking up, and I remember us all turning and being like, oh my God, like somebody's gonna have to tell him what just happened.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, where's Ethan? And they're like, Ethan's not here anymore. What do you mean Ethan's not here anymore? I was like, well, where'd he go? And they're like, your brother's dead. I was like, that can't be true. And then Hunter Johnson was like, I think Xana, Ethan were murdered last night. Didn't even know how to respond to it. Because it's like so unreal that someone I had spent almost every minute of my life with. I don't even know. Just the first person I called was Maisie.
Literally all Hunter said was, you just need to come to Xana's. And I asked him why, and he was like, just come.
Don't ask any questions. Have someone drop you off.
I remember sitting in the car, feeling like feeling like something was wrong. It was weird.
Now, after realizing the severity of this, what's really going on, and
Ugh. So I felt the same way about Hunter, the brother of Ethan's, like laughing. It to me it felt like a very uncomfortable, nervous, you know. I didn't feel any kind of way about it, like negative. It was definitely like couldn't believe that that was what was going on. There's no way that my brother's was murdered last night, right? Absolute disbelief, Patricia. And then the sister, oh my God. Ugh.
being hit with all of this information, Hunter calls their mother. And he keeps repeating to their mom over and over, they aren't here. Ethan's not here. Ethan's not here. To which his mom is just saying, okay, well, go get him. Like, go get him then. But he just could not say the words. All he could say is, he's not here. To when finally then he said, he's not on this earth anymore.
Then it finally clicked. Oh my gosh, where's Kaylee and Maddie? Their phones are pinging in there. Their phones are inside that house.
We didn't know if they were home. We didn't know if they were in there. We didn't know anything. We couldn't get a hold of them. I was sitting next to Dylan, and she really wanted to find out where they were, and we never went up there.
Then suddenly, while all of these friends and siblings are kind of gathering out front of this house trying to make sense of what's happening, they get told that Ethan and Xana have been found and that they are dead. But then in that moment, they realize very quickly that they had all been consumed with Xana and Ethan, with what happened to them. They take a moment then and stop and step back and say, well, what about Kaylee? What about Maddie? News, of course, spreads very fast. We're in the era of text messages, social media, all of these things. So these friends were also very close, and people lived very close by, walking distance. So everybody's starting to learn about this information, but still not knowing the details. So Jake, Maddie's boyfriend, calls Maddie's mom and says, hey,
Okay. What are your all's thoughts on that audio? I mean, it's definitely heartbreaking. Like, I can envision a group of kids outside in that parking area, you know. I hate calling it a driveway, although it is a driveway, but it's more like a big square or rectangular shaped parking area. But it's absolutely horrendous, horrific, haunting. It is. And I can almost feel when I hear their words, whenever he says, I walk up to these people that I hang out with all the time and they're like, Ethan's not here. And he's like, what do you mean he's not here? I mean, I feel like I'm standing right there listening to everyone's conversations. You know, it's creepy. But I think that almost everybody that is super like invested in this case probably feel the same way, right? Make sure y'all have tissues close for this prime doc. Yep. All right, let's skip to the next timestamp. I wanted to go about right here. Okay.
they thought they weren't answering their phones. They never thought that it was because they were victims in this as well. Meanwhile, at 1 p.m., about an hour after that 911 call was made, a vandal alert goes out. And a vandal alert is basically kind of like an Amber Alert. It's like a push notification, but it goes out to all the students for the campus.
I saw the ambulances, cops.
So the cops still not speaking to us. And then
All of our phones go off, and there's an alert that says homicide on King Road. Everyone simultaneously just started bursting into tears.
we all get the first vandal alert, which is like Amber Alert, but for just University of Idaho students.
Investigating a homicide on King Road. It didn't say how many, it didn't say who.
Homicide being investigated.
Now, this alert, it made everyone fearful and still very unsure of what was happening. Who was killed? Who wasn't killed? What's going on? And even before they could think what was happening next, they get the next alert.
We got another vandal alert.
4 students found dead.
Quadruple murder.
So they get the first one that says the homicide, right? And then they get this one that says Moscow PD investigating a homicide on King Road near campus. Suspect is not known at this time. Stay away from the area and shelter in place. And then Moscow police continues to investigate the death of 4 people near campus. They indicate there is no ongoing threat. More information available soon via email. Right, QB. And that's what they say. You know, whenever they say a homicide, they're thinking Xana at first. And now when they're saying 4 people, that's when they're like, oh my God, Kaylee and Maddie are upstairs. They're home. Them too, you know? I was actually listening to Miss King. Miss King said it makes me so mad that the prosecutor just let him plead without making him tell anything. I was actually listening to a video last night or today, I can't remember which, from Anjanette Levy, and she said that they actually can require it as part of a plea deal, but the public may not know that. She said that there may be video confession of him confessing to police, or not to police, but to, you know, whoever would, prosecutors or the judge or whatever, or written, or what else did she say? I can't remember. There was something else that she said, but yeah, there may be. It's just that we may not ever be given that. Now the family may be given that eventually. I don't know. What do you want to bet, though, that he would have probably refused it if they were going to make that part of it? I don't know. There was talk of a written confession. The judge did more than what I thought he would. I can't believe he got him to agree to each thing. Well, I think that he would have had to have, in order to take the plea deal. He would have had to have done that to plead guilty on all counts. And when he said willingly and knowingly and you know, whatever, blah, 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 all those little extra words, I think as part of the guilty, as part of the charges, that's part of what he's pleading guilty to. I just see him as the type that would have played tug of war with it. Maybe. I don't know. But whenever I heard Anjanette Levy say that, I was like, ooh, there could be. I don't know. All right, let's get back.
We look at the text and we're all like, what what? Because nobody had said anything to us.
That was before the cops even told us that Maddie and Kaylee had passed and that they were in there.
I don't even know if I looked at my phone or if somebody showed me.
So see, there you go. That was before they'd even knew that Kaylee and Maddie were even there.
Or like some of the girls started like yelling at the police guys.
I show him my phone and I go, what the fuck is this? And he just looks at me. He like grabs my phone. And he's like, I didn't even know they were sending this. I'm so sorry. And we were like, well, what does this mean? He was like, all 4 of them.
So after hearing the confirmation that this was a quadruple homicide, they also start hearing details from Hunter, who had gone in earlier that morning, and he says that it did look like it was a malicious attack. He had shielded them this entire time from any of the details, but now that he was starting to kind of catch his breath and reality was setting in and the news was spreading, he was starting to share a little bit about what he saw, about what had happened. Yet the one thing that nobody could understand, the one thing that nobody could seem to grapple with was who could have done this? Their worst fears had come true. 4 of their friends just murdered. But how? By who? Why? As all of this is continuing to unfold, the police take the kids to the police station. Some kids drive there on their own, but the intention behind this was so that the police could start questioning them and clear them. It's not because any of the friends were under any sort of suspicion, but they wanted to just gather as much information as they could. And the students and friends were sharing all of that information. Maddie's mom also arrives around this time, and the police speak directly with her.
I feel like the struggle getting to this point was, I can't do this. I just can't. But it's just not mentally healthy to waste time other than laughing about Maddie, talking about Maddie. It's really all we do. There is very little place in my heart for holding on to anger. That's not what you heal from. A year ago, I couldn't have spoken to you at all. I couldn't have articulated any of this. And it's taken friends, family, time to slowly creep out of that really, really bad place. And it's also reminding myself, like, how would Maddie and Kaylee want to see me? Would they want to see me crying my pajamas and can't get out of bed? Or they want to see me talking about them and how happy and how amazing they are. And that's a struggle. You never know how strong you are until strong is all you can be.
This.
Wow. Oh, hey, Megan. I made it again. I'll have to rewind to hear what I missed. Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. So far, anyway. All right. Next part that I wanted to show is coming up here. Here we go.
But then, just after 11 p.m. on the 29th of December, the police made a phone call. They called.
This is when they finally get, a month and a half, they had no suspect, and now that they did, this is the phone call that, they're talking about the phone call where the parents learned that someone was arrested. So,
called the families of all of the victims, and they shared some very important news.
It was after 11 o'clock. I was already in bed. And the officer said, don't tell anyone, but we have the suspect in custody.
Suspect in custody. Hold on. 741. Sorry, I'm bouncing around. I just really chopped this up to try to get all the parts that I wanted to for sure share.
Has his initial appearance in Idaho court.
This is whenever the police department has their press release and say that they've got the guy and it's Bryan Kohberger, and give the information that they have to share during the press release. So
Now, this new information, it made everyone spin. Everyone was trying to make a connection, trying to see if anybody knew who he was. Did he know any of the victims? Did he know any of the friends? Who was this guy? Who was this guy who came in the dead of night and stabbed 4 young college students?
I went to my friend's house and we all were like, do you know who he is? Do we know who he is? And none of us knew.
My first reaction was, who the hell is this guy? He is just this random person that has nothing to do with any of our lives.
You all now know the name of the person who's been charged with these offenses. Please ask the public, anyone who knows about this individual, to come forward.
I was told that they had made an arrest, someone named Bryan. I was like, Bryan? It's like, I've never even heard of a Bryan.
Like, why would this random guy from Pullman that no one's met before do this?
Nobody could understand who this guy was. There was a lot of relief that it wasn't somebody they knew. It wasn't a friend among themselves. It also wasn't another one of their own from Idaho. But even though that was a little comforting, there was still the massive discomfort of who the hell was this guy? Who is this creep? So as his mugshot is shared pretty much everywhere, it took no time at all for all the sleuths to start digging, to start putting information together, figure out who Bryan is, figure out all the details they could about him. And sure enough, pretty quickly, it was discovered that he actually was a PhD criminology student. And this was very upsetting because it looked as though, okay, this guy was not only a fellow student at a different campus at WSU, but only 15 minutes away from Moscow, but he studied criminology. He was going for his PhD. He was smart. He was interested in this stuff. And that was a little unnerving. Just a few days later, on January 5th, Bryan had his first hearing. And here is how that day was described.
The first time they brought Bryan Kohberger into the courtroom, when they opened the doors, a chill swept through the courtroom. It was just a really eerie, surreal feeling to see him for the first time.
Maddie's parents.
When she said that, literally a cold chill went over me and I shook. Oof. I can imagine the feel of seeing him in person for the first time, knowing what he did to your children, you know? Oh my God.
Also described what it was like seeing Bryan for the first time.
Just seeing him, and he was probably, I don't know, maybe 8 feet away from me. I almost really wanted to take him out myself right there. It was, okay, you gotta calm down. My wife actually was holding on to my arm because she was afraid I was gonna go do something.
I remember just holding his arm as tightly as I could, and he was shaking. I think we were all shaking.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. The maximum penalty for this offense is death or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
I thought I would feel like, yes, we're here. We're watching you. Like, how dare you? And it wasn't that way at all. He didn't look at us, but I'm sure he was instructed to do so. And I thought, if he doesn't feel bad, why am I wasting so much time even pretending like he's a human being?
Wow. Wow. Okay, let me go to the next spot. This is where we're going to find out more of Bryan Kohberger's fellow students, fellow classmates, their perspective of him, what they, what kind of a student he was, what kind of a, I don't know, how smart he was, that kind of stuff. This is kind of interesting too.
Been a partner with him on a school project. He knew Bryan personally. And here is Josh and another classmate of Bryan's describing their history with him and their interactions with him.
Bryan Kohberger and I met in the biology room. We were all being paired up for this long project that we were about to do. we're like picking partners, and I see this guy standing alone with his leather jacket on, and he's like just kind of being quiet. I'm the type of guy that says, "Hey, buddy, do you want to be my partner?" This guy is incredibly smart, incredibly detail oriented, and he is honestly a pleasure to work with. Do you need help with A? Do you need help with B? Bouncing ideas off each other, fact checking each other.
I took a few classes with Bryan Kohberger. He was also a forensic psychology major. We saw him maybe as the smarter student. I remember there was a class where I actually tried to cheat off his test. I don't tell a lot of people that, but I tried to cheat off his test because I knew he always did amazing in our psychology classes.
He seemed to be a lonely guy. I definitely invited him to a party one time and he said no. I can remember that.
He commuted to DeSales. So it was kind of.
So, for those of you, we've talked about this a few times. Some people have forgotten that Bryan Kohberger had an addiction to, I believe it was heroin, in high school. Was it? Was that what it was? You guys, somebody in the chat, remind me if that's not right. But we see how skinny he is now, but he was a chunky fella. He was a chunky fella and in school, and then he lost a bunch of weight to his addiction. So it was right. Okay. I thought that's what it was, but once I said it, I was like, wait a minute, is that right? Is that what it was? So you can see the big difference in his. I mean, look how much he's not overweight here, I don't feel like, but he's got a lot more, a lot more weight on him than what he does now. So
hard to learn who Bryan was.
He's an oddball. He is smart, but he's like a robot. Purely based off the fact
look at the difference. See how different he was then and now? Look at that. If you missed it, look there. The size he is there and here. Crazy pants.
An ability to perform in a normal human manner. I can absolutely see someone like him being involved in something like this.
Mm. Then they mention Dr. Ramsland and how.
This is interesting too, because we've heard a lot about Dr. Ramsland lately. Dr. Ramsland is one of his professors that he idolized. Okay. She did a lot, if I'm not mistaken, she did a lot of research on BTK, and which is crazy because BK, Bryan Kohberger, BTK, just saying. Yeah, he lost 100 pounds. Yeah. But Dr. Ramsland had recently came out and did an interview with someone, and I can't remember who that was, but she said that she wondered if Bryan Kohberger, if she didn't have some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? If she didn't have some sort of somebody help me. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I've lost it. I hate when I do that. That has got to be part of my ADHD, I think. I don't know, but I've always done this. She was helpful, I guess, is the word I'm coming up with, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But she felt like she had some sort of a the word starts with an I. It's right on the tip of my tongue, you guys. Ooh, somebody help me out. Not interest. That's not it. She had some sort of a not inkling. It's like she unknowingly helped him. God. I hate this part of my brain when it doesn't want to work. But basically, okay, I'm just going to maybe influence. I think that's it. That she had some sort of an influence on that's it. An influence. She had some sort of an influence on him. You guys, I'm sorry. It just I sent a friend of mine well, you guys know Elizabeth Inslee that comes in the chat every once in a while. She had messaged me about something I had to do for her, and whenever I was replying back, I literally sent her this meme or gif or whatever where Patrick from SpongeBob, not Patrick, Squidward maybe, was taking his top of his head like this, grabs his brain out of it and walks over and just dumps it in the trash can. I'm like, this is me, like all the time. And she's like, same. Just, I can't even find the easiest of words sometimes. So influence. So Dr. Ramsland and him had several talks apparently, and he would ask her questions. He would pick her brain, and she now was wondering if she had an influence on him, and that helped him to try to do this and try to get away with it. So in knowing that, it kind of makes me wonder if she feels a lot of guilt, She shouldn't. She's just doing her job. But I think any good person would feel that way if they, felt like they influenced somebody to do something that horrendous. Jeez.
Bryan studied directly underneath her.
Dr. Catherine Ramsland is a very accredited woman in the forensic psychology world. She has been on multiple TV shows. She's published multiple books.
I spent 5 years talking with Dennis Rader, the BTK serial killer, because he defies many of the formulas.
Bryan Kohberger studied forensic psychology under Dr. Ramsland. In that class, you learned about serial killers, murderers, and their motives.
Right behind our campus is a group of houses where normal people live. But one house DeSale is bought, and they use it as a crime scene house. Dr. Ramsland would leave evidence and clues of a real murder that happened in history.
We would try to figure out exactly how this crime took place. Just thinking about how and why a person would do something like that.
I'm sorry, but I want to take that class. Like, it sounds so interesting, right? I mean, anybody, raise your hand, put your hand up in the chat. Being the true crime folks that I know that you are, put your hand up in the chat if you would love to take that kind of class. Like, go into a house and try to put it, take all the evidence and look for things that, that would be so super cool. But it would also be cool for somebody who has a brain like Bryan Kohberger, who wants to do this sort of thing in real life. He's doing it. He's taking this class not to look for serial killers and to find them. He's taking this class so he can learn what not to do and what to do in order to get away with it. And that is creepy. Super creepy. That blows my mind. But yeah, I want to sign up for this class yesterday. I want to do that.
I did one assignment with Bryan in the crime scene house where I was sitting there quiet and he would come up with something like, well, maybe the intruder did this. Bryan's analysis usually helped us get to the end goal of what Dr. Ramsland wanted us to get to.
So a big point of conversation through all of this was how Bryan was very, very inquisitive, and how sometimes serial killers can mask their personal curiosity through education, almost as though
All right, so we're going to skip this part and we're going to get to the next part. I just thought that little clip about Dr. Ramsland was pretty interesting. Let's see, where do I want to go next? 1:05:37. Okay, now we're going to get into the discussion about Papa Rogers. So the other day, I talked about this, about the Papa Rogers account on Facebook and how it was like an ode to Elliot Rogers, who's like that big, like, incel dude that other incels like worship, and which is so gross. But anyway, for those of you that hadn't heard much about the Papa Rogers account on Facebook, this is where we'll hear a little bit about this, and I'm sure in the actual docuseries we'll hear a lot more about it too. But this is super creepy. The questions and things that he says and asks for other people's, like, what do other people think about XYZ? Would the killer have done this? Could the killer have done that? Why would they you know? Crazy pants.
Papa Roger joined our Facebook group, the University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion, a couple of weeks after we started the page, and he immediately started to get attention because
Oh, sorry, hold on. I wanted to read this. So this is from Papa Roger. You see it here. Okay, regardless of what has been released, I believe this is a sexually motivated crime. Okay. So that, you kind of put puzzle pieces together. If that really is Bryan Kohberger, then he says, regardless of what has been released, I believe this is a sexually motivated crime. If it is, then we know that none of the victims were SA'd, right? So that makes me go back to the thing that we shared the other day about Grit from Grizzly, where she was talking about that word. What was that word that started with a P and had a Q in it? Pick something. Anyway, about being like finding pleasure in stabbing flesh with sharp objects. So maybe that was his sexual motivation. Truly. Was to kill them. Stab them. I don't know. But what else would you believe if you think that this is definitely from Bryan Kohberger? What would be any other reason? I don't know.
Facebook group, the University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion, a couple of weeks after we started the page, and he immediately started to get attention because of the questions he was asking and just how creepy overall he was.
Oh, hi, Greta Van Fluff. Rut-row, what are we rut-rowing?
Melina and I are like the administrators of the page. And if something gets posted that's inappropriate, it like pops up to our attention.
And then here you go. Look at this. University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion. Papa Rogers again. The killer has a sexual dysfunction. Thoughts?
File of people that report comments, and his were in there all the time, which is how he became like even more prominent in my head.
I mean, he just asked really weird questions.
I know this won't be popular, but this is where I think the victims were found. Yeah. Creepy.
It's like, how did the killer hold the knife prior to entering the scene, in your opinion?
He said, which hand do you think they used to kill with? And I was just like, ooh, who is he? Like, something's not right. Something's off.
Which hand do you think they use? That's weird.
This guy. Alita and I have a passion for true crime. We have multiple pages that focus on crimes that people are looking to solve.
Why did the killer choose that house over all the others in the area? And then the next one, and see, he posted often. Like both of these were posted on the 8th. He would post several things a day. He knew stuff before it was out in the public. Yeah, he did. Papa Rogers did. He talks about the knife sheath. And at that point, no one knew that the knife sheath was there. Greta says, hi, just catching a ride in the mystery machine. Gotcha. Well, thanks for joining. Yeah, I think we'd all love to jump in the mystery machine, wouldn't we? Okay.
But the biggest and most well-known is the University of Idaho murders. There was talk back then like, oh, I bet the killer is on this page. There's 220,000 of us.
Now, don't he even look like, I don't know who this dude is. But I remember a lot of people saying that this photograph even resembles Bryan Kohberger. You know? Creepy.
We have almost 250,000 members. Somebody's going to say something that's going to be significant.
I think so
People
too,
ask
Morgana.
questions on this page and they like, oh, I think so-and-so did it. But he was so into.
Do we think the killer took anything from the house? And then the other one says, how long do we think the killer was in the house?
To like the crime scene and like the killer and why he did things. In hindsight, I see something very much along the.
Okay, Papa Roger here again says 1 knife and 4 people. This was on the 13th of December. 1 knife and 4 people. The killer took a big risk. The knife could have easily broken off or become ineffective after 1 or 2 murders. Are we sure there is only 1 knife involved? That was weird.
Same lines as the questionnaire that Bryan Kohberger created for a school project. He wanted like the thoughts and feelings into why somebody committed crime. Papa Roger asked on our page, how did the killer leave the scene? Kohberger asked, how did you leave the scene in his questionnaire?
Ooh, you guys remember the questionnaire that he filled out, right? Or had made for people to fill out as part of his, you know, as part of his classes or whatever. And that's weird that would have been one of the questions that he asked in that questionnaire. And it's a question that Papa Rogers asks in that Facebook group. Would we call that a coincidence?
Papa Roger said, did you clean up at all? Bryan Kohberger asked, before leaving, is there anything else you did? The questions on his questionnaire are very similar to the questions that Papa Roger asked on our page.
During this same.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't put those 2 things together. Oh, yeah. I was already convinced of it prior to this part, but this part about the questionnaire being so similar to the things that Papa Roger asked in the Facebook group, yeah. And just the questions, he asks a lot of questions. And that's what Papa Roger was doing in that Facebook group, was asking a lot of, like, asking, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? How do you think this happened? Did he think the knife had become ineffective and that is why he let the others be unharmed? I don't know. I mean, possible. That is a good question. I don't know. Very creepy. He's a creepy dude.
Window of time, as Papa Rogers is making these comments and these posts in this Facebook group, Bryan went on that cross-country drive with his father back to Pennsylvania. During that
Okay, so that's the cross-country trip that him and the dad take. I'm going to jump forward to this spot here. It's 109:11. Oop, 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 oop. Okay.
take a listen.
One post in particular that really catches my attention is his very first post on November 30th. Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. That is so odd because we didn't hear anything about the sheath. This has never been discussed publicly. This is November 30th. This is a full month before they even arrest him.
Now, did you guys know that part? Did you know that part about the Papa Roger account asking that question? Because I do. I remember this coming out very early before there was ever, like she said, ever an arrest. I specifically remember this, and everybody was like, it has to be him because, you know, whenever it did come out that the knife sheath was left behind and under Maddie or beside Maddie, when that information came out, that's when everybody was like, oh my God, Papa Rogers had asked this question, blah, 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 blah. So he posted this on November 30th, and we didn't find out about the knife sheath actually being left until whatever date later. And then they're like, so people were like, okay, we need like the FBI to be digging into this account and find out who it is. And I wonder, you know, if they did. I wonder how much of it they looked into in the Facebook account. Because you know they can do that, you know, and tie who that account leads back to. Megan says, do we know why the police couldn't track down where Papa Roger was joining from using whatever computer for right, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if they didn't take it seriously or maybe they did, and maybe it did have a part in, you know, figuring out things. I don't know. Maybe we'll find that out later.
This has never been discussed publicly. This is November 30th. This is a full month before they even arrest him.
Crazy pants. Crazy pants. All right, let me jump to the next part. 120. This is the last clip that I've got to share with you guys. And please make sure that you go, the link to Annie Elise's full video is in the description box. Please make sure to go click that link so you can watch the rest of it. I've kind of bounced, you know, from front to the end around. But if you want to watch, and there's a lot more in here that we haven't watched today. So I do hope that you'll go watch it. 119. I need 120 in 13 seconds.
He feels some resentment toward that gender.
Haley Willette says they met in 2015 when he took her to a movie.
Okay, now I remember what this part is. Do you guys also, I wanted to make sure to show this part because do you remember the other day whenever we were talking about this? Excuse me. And I had mentioned the girl that he had gone on a date with, and he'd sent her a text being like, yo, had a great time. You got great wide berth and hips or something. Do you remember that? You remember we talked about this the other day? Hey, Cherie. Oh, thanks, Patricia. Yeah, I really wanted to organize this because I didn't want to use all of her video because I don't know that she don't, like strike people and stuff. So I was a little bit scared. She might still, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever shared anything from Annie Elise before. So I wanted to make sure I like crossed T's and dotted I's and all that, but we'll see. But do you guys remember that I said the other day about the date that he went on and she was interviewed and had told that he had sent her a message saying she had great birthing hips? Do y'all remember that? You guys, I'm hacky. Hold on, I need a... Your DNA has been collected. Thank you. Thank you, Cherie. All right, you remember that, Patricia. Okay, thank you. So, hold on, I'm getting a cough drop. These are my little, these are my Young Living Thieves cough drops, by the way. And yes, Morgana, that's the one that got stuck in my printer. That's the one that got stuck in my printer that one time. Or was it my printer? Yeah, it was my printer that it got stuck in. I don't know how that happened. But, so talking about the wide birthing hips, this is the girlfriend. Her name is Haley Willette. Is that what they said? And sure enough, yeah, keep him away from her. Oh, so you remember that, Patricia? Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Yeah, I can't believe that happened. So I had to buy a whole new printer, man, because of a stupid cough drop. So, hold on, I'm being rude. I'm not supposed to do this, with y'all. We're family here, right? So, anyway. This last clip that we're going to hear is the girlfriend, or not a girlfriend, but he went on a date with her. And this is how that date went.
Then, Haley Willette says they met
and maybe feel some resentment toward that gender.
Haley Willette says they met in 2015 when he took her to a movie, then insisted on escorting her to her dorm room.
He kept trying to tickle me, and I would ask him to stop, and he would get very serious. I proceeded to pretend to throw up in the bathroom, hoping that he'd leave. And then he messaged me and he said that I had good birthing hips.
I still think the more we find out that this was incel rage against women because of his history with women, starting in high school, where the girls would be bullying him.
Certain men feel like they are owed a relationship with a woman, that's not something they should have to earn. It's something that they should be given.
I did hear about a situation where Kohberger had followed a student out to her car, like trying to flirt with her, and she reported it to someone in the criminal justice department.
At Washington.
All right. Sorry. So there you go. That's what we're gonna end there. But like I said, I do hope that you guys will go and video credit that. Let me grab copy, and I'm going to put it in the link because I don't know if you guys can click that. Well, you can't see it. You can see it on the screen, but you can't click it on the screen. So let me post the link again. Go watch the entire video. All right. There you go. So, wow. Have we heard any more word? We're going to get back into the headache zone here. I know they're saying the 11th. Patricia and Miss Kings say it premieres on the 10th. I don't know when it's going to come out. Let me look on my phone one more time. Let me look on my phone. Hold on. I got to get my CNI glasses. Both pairs of them. This calls for both pairs. She quit. You left with Margaret? Sure you did. Series premiered July 11th. But where did you guys go to see what times and stuff? Because some of you all were given like times. Like, where do I click to find the time? The Google. Yours just said the 10th. Okay. Well, somebody had posted in here that I think it was Margaret that said that it was given her times on hers. Get back here, both of you. Right, Morgana? Oh, yours don't say a time. Prime really needs to get it together. They do. Come together right now over me. Boom, boom. Roll out 12 a.m. 7-Eleven. Oh my God. I'm not leaving you, Margaret. Hold on, I'm looking on the Google. The Google. Oh, have you guys gotten any Prime Day deal? Prime Day deals? I snagged a few. Quitters don't win and winners don't quit. Yeah, I want to go take that class. I just ate my last Advil. I can't go through it. I want to take that class. I want to do that. Wonder how much it costs. Wonder if you can actually take a class like that that's not like a legit college course. Just like, I don't know. Like someone that's not in college, just like your normal everyday work from home mom like me who's not going to college. Wonder if there's any place like that where you could do something like that. That would be so freaking cool. I try not to support Amazon, but I did buy the dash cam Margaret recommended. Ooh, good for you. Oh, that reminds me. I need for you all to put in the chat, because if I go look, I've looked 100 times, but we want to buy, we want to buy like doorbell cams, right? We don't have one. We've never had one. And he reminded me the other day why we'd ever had one. And it's because early on when we talked about getting one, I was like, I don't think I want one. I'd freak out if my phone was telling me, oh, somebody's at your door, like at 3 a.m. That would freak me all the way out. I was like, I just don't want to know. It would freak me out. Like, I remember when my sister, who used to live next door to me, had, I saw those, QB. I've looked at them. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Ring has them, and then there's Blink. But I don't know which is good. I mean, there's even other brands out there too, and I don't know. There's some that have floodlights on them. I just don't know. And then there's some that you have to buy, what do you have to pay for the subscription every month after you buy the items? That was the only way you found out that Mom's yard sprinkler exploded that morning. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it works with your Alexa. Mom's subscription was $10. Because I saw something, there was like a subscription for like $10 a month, or you could pay like $100 a year or something like that. But you get extra stuff, you know, other notification types. And there was something I read where it said that it will tell you if it's a person at your door or if it's an animal of some kind. So you don't have to like freak out. It's free if you don't need the recordings, I think. Kept 30 days recordings. I don't know. That's just, there's so many different options, and I just don't know what, will work best for what we need or want. Wait till a spider crawls across it. Oh my God. I bet that's funny. But I know that they had a lot of those out for Prime Day deals. I actually saw the Ring and the Blink cameras. They were on sale like 50% off like the day or two before Prime Day even started. I think they had those deals out on the 6th or the 7th. I was like, ooh. Ooh, Megan says, new episodes on Amazon Prime Video are typically released at midnight. Yeah. Yeah. We read that part earlier, and then that's where I got really confused because I didn't know if the 7 p.m. Eastern meant the day before or the night of, you know? The new rings have a better view. Right, I know, QB. Hold on a second, you guys. I'm hacky. And then my nose starts running when I start coughing. So I'm going to go ahead and scooch on out of here because husband is home. It's almost 5 o'clock. And so I'm going to scooch. Miss King says I have one that looks in my backyard. Okay. What is yours, Miss King? What brand is it? What brand? What I read said 7 the night before. Well, that would be like 2 hours from now. Wise. WYZE. Sure thing, Gail. Thank you. Okay, so before everybody leaves, real quick, let me just say that I'm going to do Y's are good. I use them for M. Okay. I want to do the members only. Don't forget, you guys, I want to do the members only. But if they're going to end up premiering that thing later tonight at a decent time, you know, what do you all think I should do? When should we do the members? Because what I'm having in my mind, what I have in my mind is that I want to, like I was saying earlier, have a pre-show party, and then, right, Morgana, I know. So that's why I think I want to. Well, we're not in school, Patricia. Yeah, everybody's still on summer break right now. For the most part, I think. I don't think anybody across the country has started back to school yet, have they? Oh, got you. I was like, wait a minute. Patricia means work. I got you. Yeah. I was going to say that too, QB. What's your notifications? Because I've got something else I got to do tonight. Um, so I would be unavailable to do anything tonight. But tomorrow, we will get together. I'm going to go ahead and just keep my 2 p.m. members only video live stream. I'll keep it for 2 p.m. And then if you guys can hop on the members only, we will discuss plans for tomorrow night for some sort of a watch party, okay? Party at my house. Tomorrow we all have a deadline in our time zone to watch it. True, QB. True. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, okay? See, I put the cough drop in, and y'all have to listen to me talk with the cough drop. I hate that. I hate listening to people talk when they have hard candy in their mouth. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do when you got to do it, right? I'll get out of here. I'll see you all tomorrow, okay? At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, members only. If you're not a member and you want to be, check out the memberships. Otherwise, I will see the rest of you back on Rick. It's on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime. I will scooch on out of here and see you back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, okay? And for the rest of the folks that aren't members, we will get back to it probably on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure yet well, it won't be Tuesday because we'll be at the doctor's office. That's when she has her gastro appointment. So, I'm not sure if it's going to... I'll try to do Monday, but I'm not sure if I can or not. So, things might be up in the air this coming week. Because Dale is off the entire week for his work shutdown. So, we plan on getting a lot of stuff done this coming week. There might not be a lot of streaming at all this week. Except for on what day? I gotta look again. Because Bryan Kohberger's sentencing... Nope, that's on the 23rd, right? Yeah, that's on the 23rd. Let me look. And then Stefan Stern's stuff starts on the 22nd. Okay. So, that would be that. But I'll see you guys sometime soon. I love y'all, and I hope that you have a great night tonight. And Morgana, I'm sure me and you might be popping in on Amazon Prime later tonight in case they happen to have something on, right? Love y'all. Mean it. I'll see you later. Bye.